Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities, and sometimes they are very dark personalities with very nefarious dealings, such as this businessman known as Jeffrey Epstein. So I have done a reading on him before. You can go check them out in my playlists. I've discussed. I actually my last video that I posted up was a synastry between him and Donald Trump. So please check that out. So the reason why I'm looking at him again as an individual chart is because we got a birth time. Yes, we have a birth time. His baby book with his birth certificate. It's just been published, and he was born. What was it? 6:15. So it was either 6:15, 6:25, or 6:30 or 6:35 a.m. I think that's what it was. Anyway, it gave us a Capricorn rising, and so we're here, and we're going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein today, which is, every time I discuss this man, I end up with a horrible headache and I feel a little bit sick afterwards. Like energetically, it's not really good for me to do this. So I'm going to try and make this one take instead of having to film over and over again. So please bear with me as I hold my broken. Before I turned on this camera, I broke the stand for my microphone, so this is why this is awkward. Anyway, I hope it's okay. Before I dive in, I just want you guys to know there's a few things. I have temporarily gotten rid of MP3 readings. I am very, if you remember, I've posted a video about it. I've been suffering from burnout, and when I suffer from burnout, I'm just not as on my game. I'm doing the best I can, and I thought, you know what? I'm tired, I'm making mistakes. Let's just get rid of that service for a moment so I can connect with myself and and rest. But I am doing a few face-to-face on Zoom readings per week. So if you would like to get a personal reading, like meet me in the Zoom room for an hour, I do that on my Friday nights and my Saturday mornings. I've got just a few spaces a week. It's not a lot, but it's there because I have gotten rid of those MP3s. So yeah, if you'd like to book, it's in the link below. I really appreciate it. And I am planning a retreat next year. So if you're interested, you're an astrology girly and you want to go to Europe, please click the link below and take the survey. I really want to go to Italy or Greece. At this point in time, I'm leaning towards Italy, but Greece is also very relevant. And I would love to, go talk history with you guys, be, in my teacher Virgo midheaven vibe, and talk about how astrology connects with art. That's actually one of the things I want to do in the future is do a PhD in theological and astrological art. So we'll see if that ever happens, but I think this might be it's like a bit of a taste test for me. So if you're interested, please click the Trover Trip link below, do the survey, let me know if you're interested, and we will gather the data, contact all of you, and see where it goes from here, because we want to do it by next September. So, okay, that's it. Thank you so much. All right, shall we dive into this gnarly chart? Okay, let's do this. All right, so with this birth time, we can see here that it depends on degrees. The chart doesn't change that much between the 6:15 to the 6:35 chart, but according to 6:15, he's a 12-degree Capricorn rising. He's got Chiron on the ascendant, which is really important, and Mercury is also here in this first house. And then he is also a 0-degree not Capricorn. So he's a 0-degree Aquarius. There's no such thing as cusps, but he is. You could argue that he is. He was born on in the very first few minutes, few hours of Aquarius season, and then he's got a North Node in Aquarius, a Mars and Venus conjunction in Pisces, a very ADHD Aries moon that's squared with Uranus. So we'll get to that. And a Scorpio midheaven. And what is Scorpio? It is other people's finances, everybody. being an accountant or a financier where you manage other people's money is perfect. So this chart really suits him. Like even he's a money rising, a money Mercury because Capricorn. He's got a money midheaven because it's Scorpio. And then he's got kind of, here's the thing. This man was spiritual, and I don't mean in the love and light kind of way. He was darkly spiritual. I think he was very connected to magic. I actually, while I was preparing for this, I was watching Australia 60 Minutes documentary about Jeffrey Epstein, and one of the journalists that he was, I guess, working with for an article said that she said that if she didn't write a favorable article on him, that he would curse her future children and like hire someone in his team or something to curse her future children. And I was listening to this and I'm like, oh, he believes in magic. I don't think he was a religious person. I think he was a deeply spiritual person. Maybe it's connected to some kind of cult behavior, allegedly. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Mars and Venus in Pisces. And Venus in Pisces is exalted, right? It's meant to be like the best placement for Venus. A love without boundaries. And that could be really beautiful. But in a dark personality, in a conjunction with Mars, a phallus with no boundaries. Where is that going? And sex and love are very intertwined for him. So, yeah, this could be a very vicious placement, Pisces placements, at their best are fantastic. I do have a lot of people in my life who have Pisces placements who are wonderful people that would never hurt a fly. But if you have a dark personality, like an unevolved dark Pisces, that's someone who could justify the worst of their behavior, like the worst, especially with a Mars and Venus. That's sex and love. So, and look how well aspected the Venus and Mars are. I mean, it sextiles Mercury, so the guy is good at appealing to people's emotions in order to get his hands in their wallets. I mean, a Mercury in Capricorn has his mind on the money. And because he's got Mercury in the first house, he is an expert communicator. Maybe not with everyone, but in terms of business, he is. Certainly with other men. And that's probably why he really enjoyed the company of children, because I think with a grown woman, he'd be quite awkward. Chiron's in a conjunction with Mercury here. He's an awkward communicator when it comes to, I guess, personable things, like relationship things. He seems quite awkward. I also think with this Chiron Mercury in the first house, pretty close to the ascendant, very insecure about his physical appearance. Very insecure. However, when he's connecting through business, I think because Chiron on the ascendant, you're gonna seem like someone. If you have this placement, people are gonna come to you who are very wounded. The Chiron here is on the ascendant is the wound sitting on the face. Like you are the wounded healer. You walk through the world being a wounded healer. That's what Jeffrey Epstein was for the billionaires. He was someone who could fix things, especially money related things. But yeah, this Chiron, this Mercury sextiles these Pisces placements. I think he was of great comfort to probably a lot of people and was probably very close friends to a lot of people. People trusted him. He seemed trustworthy. He had a lot of secrets which still haven't been exposed. He hasn't revealed these people's secrets. He had everyone's secrets. He had it taped on film. So see how sextiles and trines, they're like easy placements. It doesn't necessarily they play out as noble, right? So trines and sextiles, they indicate gifts, right? Gifts can play out in very dark, nefarious ways, as they do with Jeffrey Epstein. He was gifted with people, specifically like wealthy billionaire men. Not a single client earned under $1 billion. Really interesting. So, and then there's also this trine with Uranus on the descendant in the 7th house. So he has a revolving door of people in his life. Uranus is a planet of chaos. It governs Aquarius and the 11th house. If you have that in the 7th house of partnerships, he's going to know a lot of people. Yes, elite people, but still a lot of people. So Uranus trine the Mars and the Venus is at forging close relationships in a very crowded room. Or how do I put this? There's intimacy in a crowded room. And he found people at these big parties. He's a very quiet man. He was a pretty introverted man, but that quality helped him navigate very rough waters of the elite circles in New York or Florida, like LA, right? He was very good. He was very good at socializing, even though he was very much an introvert. Yeah, but a revolving door of people all the time. People are in, people are out, just like that apartment block he owned in New York. Jupiter's also involved here. Like, look at these powerful blue lines. These are gifts. Like, a very active social circle, that revolving door, and then it sextiles that Jupiter in Taurus. So he's gifted with money. People born under a Jupiter in Taurus, if it's really well aspected and there's some nice things involved with it, they're very good at accumulating wealth. So you see how the revolving door of people, this really large social circle, is connected to wealth. And the Jupiter is on the IC, it's very private. It's at home. So building property or buying properties, building properties, fourth house is the home. It's the domestic sphere. And that is also very active and very profitable. So look, if I scroll out, all these very powerful planets, trined, sextile, personal planets, he's got a lot of power. He's going to accumulate a lot of wealth over many, many years. But let's have a look at some of the difficult aspects, right? This revolving door, this Uranus, is a very chaotic planet. It squares the moon and the Aries, and don't get me wrong, I do love an Aries moon. I'm an Aries sun. When I mess with you guys, it's a hell of a lot of fun, Let's cause trouble on the back of a bike. Let's go. Woo! However, it's a Martian moon. It's an ADHD moon, and it's got no nice aspects to anything. Moon is emotions. Moon is how you process things, like emotional things. So there's not a lot of healthy, because of this square with Uranus, there's not a lot of healthy ways he can emotionally unwind, So there's a clash between his emotional health, his emotional needs, and this revolving door of people. I don't think he liked everyone that he let into his circle. I think he wasn't able to truly emotionally connect with people. He was a manipulator. So how does he emotionally connect? How does he let off some steam? Who can he show the worst sides of himself to? Not a lot of people. You know where I'm going with this. Explains why he enjoyed the company of children in terms of being intimate. I hate saying I'm sorry, I hate saying this, but anyway, because the moon is meant to be home. The moon is also a planet that is in charge of children. I know that it's Leo and the sun is children, but the moon is family. It's it is an intimate planet. It's a fertile planet. It's not a very fertile sign, and it's squared Uranus in the 7th house. Very emotionally combustible, emotionally scary. I think he has trouble. He gets angry. He has trouble containing his emotions. I think he holds it back. He's passed away now. He holds it back. He holds his emotions away, and then he unleashes in the most inappropriate ways. That's what I can see here. This is a scary personality. There's nothing nice with that moon. Nothing. Let's have a look at this T square. Saturn Saturn does square the sun. I know that the sun and Saturn are in air signs, but because of the degree, because Saturn's at a very late degree at 27, it does square that sun. He doesn't feel very accepted. It's really interesting how he became the go-to guy and the one that knows all these very fancy, wealthy people. Like he was accepted later in life, but early on he was not. He was very insecure. That's why he really craves to have one up on these powerful, rich people that when he was young made him likely. I don't know much about his early life. It's very much a mystery, but it seems to me that he felt very rejected, dejected, not very attractive, not very, bit of a weirdo Aquarius energy, weirdo Aquarius energy that was not accepted by the system. Like, and he really wanted it, but he didn't get it. So the only way he could get it really was to have one over on people. Saturn square the sun is, because I have this placement, it's in different signs, so I'm a very different person. But when you have Saturn square the sun, when you shine bright and you try to be creative and you try to be yourself and you're trying to shine. The sun is honor and glory and creativity and ego. When you want to shine bright, Saturn, the system, when it's in a square, says no. Get back in your spot, get back in the box. Even if you have to cut off your arms and legs to fit in the box, do it. Shut up. And that's how he felt. That's a very insecure little man. So, I mean, Saturn square sun can bring out some really dark personality traits, right? I say that's someone with the same aspect. Then there is a very strong square between Saturn and Mercury. While he was, I think, in intimate settings, one-on-one with people, was incredibly gifted with expressing his ideas. Like, I want to help you. Here's how I can do it. The aspect with Saturn here indicates that he wasn't very good on a stage. I don't think he was good in large groups. Saturn is structures and it's authority and it's like the big things, right? That Mercury, the way he communicates, the way he talks to people, while in a nice, intimate, like it's good in an intimate setting, it's not good in a public setting. I've never seen any footage of him deliver a speech on a stage. He's much better in intimate dealings than he is dealing with a huge group of people in front of him. He needs to only talk to the select few. That's where he's good. But he's not that charismatic on a stage, right? It's kind of like the comparison between a movie actor and a stage actor. If I'm going to compare it, he's a better like intimate movie actor than he is being on a stage in a live audience. He's better when he rehearses. He's not good. He's not good when he's got to, be live and sweat and interact with an audience of a vast audience of people. He's terrible at it. So very insecure. Yeah. So, and then, yeah, he's so much red as he's got powerful blue in his chart, but he's also got this really, really red T-square. Uranus opposite Mercury as well. I think he's got some pretty insane ideas. It's interesting. These two things are really far apart. He's got this revolving door of people in that 7th house, but then he's only good at talking in intimate situations. They're very superficial relationships in that 7th house. Yeah, I think I think with this placement, he has some social awkwardness. Again, he's much better in intimate situations than he is with large groups. With that aspect, he's got the revolving door of people that he can't even manage. That's what Ghislaine Maxwell was for. Ghislaine Maxwell was managing this Uranus in the 7th. He couldn't handle it. And then there's also the South Node with Pluto. He's a baby boomer, born under a South Node conjunction with Pluto, that generation, born into glory, post-war years, especially, I'm talking specifically about people, the baby boomers born in Western countries. They were born believing that they were meant to, like, they were the chosen ones, meant to own the world, you know? So that's that belief system that he grew up in. That generation that's why that generation, that Pluto and Leo generation, they're kind of insufferable, like as a generation, not individually, as a generation. But they're like little kings, that Pluto and Leo generation. And then as he's moving towards this North Node in Aquarius. Born into a belief that he's a king, like he's a born king. Delusions of glory, and he actually made it happen. Not because he was born into it; he had to earn it. I think a lot of how he achieved his success came through positioning himself as somewhat as a man of the people, rich people, not people like regular schmegular people, but someone who could be an advocate or a helper or for a network, very, very elite network. But yeah, North Node in Aquarius is a connector, or someone who is meant to have a vast range of networks. The sun is here, which actually rules Leo. But he's a bit of a tyrant. You got to be careful with those, you know. And by the way, if you have a sun with the North Node, I'm not saying you're a horrible person. You are prone to delusions of grandeur. You could be your own undoing. So, and I don't like, as an Aries, I hate saying be humble, check your ego. But with this placement, it's kind of necessary. You got to check yourself sometimes. You know, am I being fair? Am I being kind? Am I being a narcissist? It's something to think about, you know. He didn't give a crap about that. Probably because he was a psychopath. But anyway, the sun and the North Node, while not in a conjunction, are sitting together. And it does play into the second house of money and finances, securing his wealth through that vast network. Anyway. That ninth house, the house of travel, religion. There has to be some cult stuff going on in here. There has to be. Got Neptune, the planet of God and Jesus, in the ninth house of expanse and church, and right? Saturn's also here. Business is connected to faith. Business is connected to faith. There has to be some occult stuff happening here. He surely believed in astrology, or at least used it, right? That's the baby book. He's got his whole chart in there. Someone worked it out for him. Yeah. By the way, I can't remember. Was he born? He wasn't born into wealth, was he? But he managed to climb his way to wealth. Like very early on, he had like some powerful associates. I'm very sure. Pluto, these are generational planets. Pluto sextile, Pluto in the 8th, or playing into the 8th, sextile Saturn and Neptune in the 9th. Travel, religion, belief systems, business, and hidden money. That's what that sextile shows me. He hides money. Anyway, a lot going on here. Guys, that is my chart reading for Jeffrey Epstein. Anyway, it only took one take. Thank God, because I didn't want to look at this again. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. I promise I'll make more. After I film this one, I'm filming another one. I just needed a break. I needed to get through that atrocious Mercury retrograde, and we're in the middle of an eclipse, so it's been really crazy. So hold tight. I've got more coming, especially for the members. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.